Hello boys and girls, it's Miss Briley here for Monday's maths lesson. To join in with this maths lesson, you're going to need some digit cards and some counting objects. Pause the video and go and get those things now. Then we'll get started. Let's start by counting. You can use your number track that you got in your last week's work pack to help you if you'd like, or you can just use mine on screen. To help you, you could point to each number as we count. Off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now, pause the video and have a go by yourself. To start our lesson, we're going to do some estimation. Can you remember what an estimate is? An estimate is a guess, a good guess, not a silly guess. You're going to need to use your eyes and think really carefully before you make your guess. We're going to look at some magical creatures to help us do some estimation. Off we go! Magical estimation and counting. In a minute, you're going to see some magical creatures. You need to estimate how many creatures there are on screen. Once you've made a good guess, we'll have a go at counting them to see if we were right. Off we go! How many unicorns are there? Have a look, boys and girls. Perhaps you could look at the groups of unicorns to help you make your guess. I can see a group of 3 unicorns and then another group of 2, so I know that my guess needs to be larger than 3. I am going to estimate that there are 5 unicorns. If you've done this, you could pause the video and ask your child these challenging questions. Can you explain what estimation is? Can you see any groups? Can it help you estimate? How many unicorns do you estimate that there are? Shall we see if our guess was correct? There were 5 unicorns. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many wizards are there? This time, now that we've had a go, I'm only going to show it for a couple of seconds, so get your eyes ready. How many wizards do you think there are? I saw lots of wizards there. Far more than there were unicorns. I could see a few groups of wizards, and that's going to help me make my estimate. I saw a very large group of wizards who had more than 5. So I am going to guess that there were 9 wizards altogether. What was your estimate? Shall we see if I was correct? There were 10 wizards. 9 is very close to 10, so that was a good estimate. Let's count them to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, parents and carers, if your child makes their estimate quickly, then you can ask them these challenging questions to help them develop their understanding. How many elves do you think there are? I'm only going to show them for a short amount of time, so get your eyes ready. How many elves do you think there are? I could see 2 groups of elves. One of the groups had 3 elves in it, and the other group had more than 3. So I am going to guess that there are 7 elves altogether. I am going to estimate that there are 7 elves. What's your estimation? Shall we see if we were correct? There were 7 elves. Let's count them to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look at the groups of elves, boys and girls. What can you see? I can see a group of 3 and a group of 4. This shows me that 3 and 4 make 7. Well done, boys and girls. Now that we're all warmed up, let's move on to our activity. I have 2 hoops, a blue hoop and a red hoop. The first thing I want you to do is estimate how many counters are in each hoop. Remember, don't count them. An estimation is a guess, a quick guess. How many counters do you think are in the blue hoop? How many counters do you think are in the red hoop? Now you've made your estimates, let's count them to see if you were close. We're going to count the blue hoop first. Can you help me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 counters in the blue hoop. How many counters are there in the red hoop? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 counters in the red hoop. Look really carefully at the counters, boys and girls. What can you see? Let's look at the blue hoop first. I can see 2 groups of counters. One of the groups has 4 counters in it and the other has 3. This shows me that 3 and 4 together make 7. Now let's look at the red hoop. I can see 2 groups of 3. That shows me that 3 add 3 equals 6. So we've counted how many counters are in each hoop. But boys and girls, which hoop has more counters in it and which hoop has fewer counters in it? 6 is less than 7. So I can see that the red hoop has fewer counters in it than the blue hoop. The blue hoop has more counters in it than the red hoop. Let's do another. Look carefully at my hoops, boys and girls. What can you see? Can you estimate how many counters are in each hoop? Once you've made an estimate, can you count how many counters are in each hoop? And once you've counted them, can you tell me which one has more counters in it and which hoop has fewer counters in it? Let's count the counters together. Let's count the counters in the blue hoop first. Look carefully at the counters, boys and girls. What can you see? I can see 2 groups of counters. Each group of counters has 3 counters in it. Let's count all of the counters now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6. There are 6 counters in the blue hoop. Now let's look at the red hoop. What can you see? I can see a group of 2 and a group of 3. I think that the red hoop has fewer counters in it than the blue hoop because the blue hoop had 2 groups of 3, but the red hoop has 1 group of 3 and 1 group of 2. Shall we count and find out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 counters in the red hoop. Which hoop has more counters in it? The blue hoop has more counters in it. 6 is more than 5. The red hoop has fewer counters in it. 5 is less than 6. Can you say that, boys and girls? 5 is less than 6. Now say 6 is more than 5. Well done, boys and girls, for practicing your mathematical language. Let's do one more. Look carefully at my hoops. Make an estimate to how many counters are in each hoop. Once you've done that, see if you can work out which hoop has more counters in it and which hoop has less counters. Okay, let's count them together. Let's look at the blue hoop first. What can you see? I can see 2 groups of counters. Each group of counters has 4 counters in it. Let's count all the counters now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 counters in the blue hoop. Now let's look at the red hoop. What can you see? I can see 3 groups of counters. I can see 3 counters at the top, 3 counters at the bottom, and a group of 2 counters. Let's count them to see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 counters in my red hoop too. Boys and girls, which hoop has more counters in it? Both hoops have 8 counters in them. Therefore, they're equal. The hoops have the same amount of counters in them. They are equal. Okay, now it's time for you to go and practice this on your own. To play the game, you are going to need your hands and a bowl of counting objects. You can use any counting objects that you've got at home. For example, small pebbles, dried pasta, counters, or Lego bricks. What you need to do is put your hand in the bowl and take a handful of counting objects and put them in one of the hoops. Then take a handful with the other hand and put it in the other hoop. The first thing you're going to do is estimate how many objects are in each hoop. Which hoop do you think has more objects and which do you think has fewer objects, or are they equal? Once you've made your estimation, you're going to count how many objects are in each hoop and label the hoop with your digit card. So for example, if your blue hoop had 4 pieces of pasta in it, you would label it with your number 4 digit card. Once you've labelled both of your hoops, you need to work out which hoop has more objects in it and which hoop has fewer objects in it. Good luck and have fun!